Hi there, everyone. My name is Yolanda Kerr. I'm the head of growth at TDC Global. I'm here today as a volunteer for TechDiversity. We're going to be in conversation with Gerard Holland today. This is part of our 10-year anniversary series of checking in with some of the nominees and award winners from over the years. So I'm really excited to introduce you to Gerard. Gerard is the co-founder of a company called Intern Match. This is a technology platform that is helping to link up international students with the likes of internships, graduate programs for organisations who are looking to expand their talent pool. Gerard, I'd love to pass to you just quickly so you can give an even more detailed description of Intern Match, and then let's dive into checking in on how things have been since your nomination and award win in 2018.
Yeah, thanks, Yolanda. Yes, Intern Match was born out of the vision and aspirations to help international students be able to embed themselves into Australia, and that is through career-related employment, and obviously a lot of those roles are in tech. So we went to solve this little paradox of how does someone get experience if they don't have experience, and solving that little problem led us into doing internship placements and then building a platform to help facilitate that at scale, and then working with the universities in Australia and then in the UK and Canada to help connect international students into internships. So that was how it was born.
Love it. No, great. It's clear from looking into Intern Match, it's very purpose driven, but you come with a massive impact, and it also comes with a stream of the ROI for Australia's economy as well. So I guess that's what I loved about learning more about Intern Match. But let's talk about what's actually happened since your nomination, and what inspired you to actually nominate the business for TechDiversity.
Yeah, so when we nominated, the focus was around the cultural diversity. So there's a lot of forms of diversity, as you would know, Yolanda, and all the work that you do. And around that time, there wasn't a lot around the cultural side of things. And being a business that was helping international students, that was something that I was very passionate about and focused on. And so we put in a nomination that was all based around people from different cultures. And given that we had such a large network of international students that come from literally all over the world, we took a real angle about how do we help people from different backgrounds. And that could be religions, it could be from different parts of the world, it could be sex, it doesn't matter. And how do we help them get into the Australian and local employment markets? And so we're building technology to help facilitate that, and then also have a software development team that are all internationals, or pretty much 80% internationals. And so our application was purely built around the cultural side of diversity.
It'd be hard for you not to win an award like that, but I remember actually looking over some of your content. What was just so inspiring for your team was you were up against some big brands with big budgets, and you were clear in your impact and what you were looking to achieve. So it's really no surprise that Intern Match did win that award. And we've got the benefit, there's a lot of people being interviewed in this 10-year anniversary conversation series, but what I've liked the most is that you've got 7 years under your belt since the actual award. So I'm sure you can share a lot of things that have evolved since 2018. So I think it would be great to hear what's happened since.
Yeah, I think a lot's gone on since then, and we were a pretty little early stage company when we won the TechDiversity Awards. And I actually, just to quickly go on a tangent, I still remember that night being at the awards, and I was sitting at a table at the back. I was by myself. I didn't bring my team with me because we're up against these REAs and all these massive companies, and I thought, oh, we better turn up, we'll nominate it. We got no chance in hell of winning. And then someone came down and sat next to me as they were doing the awards, and just started having a chat. I can't remember who it was, but I thought, okay, it's nice to come and have a chat. But they knew what was about to happen.
Oh, did they? Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, they announced that we're all the winner, and it was the shock of my life. So I had to get up on stage and do a speech that I'd absolutely not prepared for. But I still remember that night very, very vividly. Was very proud of it. Took the award back to our office the next day, and we all celebrated it. So yeah, it's a good memory you've just raised for me. But since then, things have evolved a lot, and we've now taken our business into Africa. And that's not a place that I ever thought we would go. But I've mentioned cultural diversity has always been something that has been the purpose of our business, and we've now gone into a continent that is not very well represented in Australia. And our Talent Match Africa, our second brand, was born off the back of that. And we're now placing people from the African continent into employment relationships with companies in America, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, China, France, all different parts of the world. So from where we were when we won this award to where we are now, I never would have dreamt about it, or I thought it was going to go in that direction, which is a part of business. You actually don't really know where you're going to go. But we've really amplified the work we're doing then, and taken it into a stratosphere that I didn't think we would ever get to.
And is it a global challenge that you've started? One you want to tell me a bit more about that? Was it impacting 1 million jobs? Because the next thing I wanted to ask was what's been the impact to date, and that's what really stood out to me with Intern Match, like big vision, big goals, everything's leading up to this North Star. Is it the Global Work Challenge?
Yeah, so the Global Employment Challenge was born off the back of that. So my personal aspirations for purpose has led to wanting to impact 1 million people positively before I die. So I've got a long time to do that, I hope. And that can be with international students that we're helping in Australia, to helping someone living in Nairobi, Kenya, to be able to have better employment and economic opportunities. So that's still big North Star vision, I suppose, of impacting people in a positive way. It's just expanded quite dramatically in terms of which parts of the world we're operating in. And so the Global Employment Challenge was born off the back of that. And I believe that we can change the world through employment. Poverty is still spread out through the entire world. But if you can give someone a stable income, they can then impact their family, they can impact themselves. The flow-on effect is massive. And so through the creation of one job has an amplification effect of 7, 8 other people. So I think the best way that we can make the world more even is to create more employment for people that don't have the same privileges that definitely have been provided in my life.
And I remember from some of the testimonials and some of the impact that you speak about on your website, there's some people that do come over and, they're not just there for themselves, they're there to support a full family. Like there's been funding put into one person in the family from another country, and they're coming over here, they're investing money into their education, and then they're not getting the jobs. And it sounds like you've got a lot of individual stories, not only like you've got the qualitative and the quantitative impact, of that. And that was a very powerful, I guess, moment for me when I was reading into this, of the personal and the community and broader challenge that you're facing.
Yeah, we literally have thousands of those stories now, which is a little bit humbling, and all of them are really important in their own right. And I remember around the time before we were nominated for the TechDiversity Awards the first time around, was that I spoke to a young lady from, I think she's from Nepal, and her whole family had saved up to send her to Australia to get a degree, to get a better job. But then she's got to repay the money. Like you got to send the money home. And when you get to the end of your degree and you're unable to do that, there's a whole lot of implications that goes with that. There's mental health problems, and there's a lot of saving face, but also just the embarrassment of it all. So, every international student has a journey that they're on. They're not all very wealthy families that are coming to Australia or other parts of the world for education. This is their way out of poverty for a lot of people. And then same for our Africa part of the business is the exact same thing. People are going to school, they're finishing, they're going to university, they're graduating, and then what's next? We have to make sure that there's opportunities for the what's next.
And people watching this video, there are going to be business leaders, HR leaders, tech leaders, talent acquisition leaders. And so I guess we're speaking about the impact for, the individual and the community, but let's talk about the impact actually for businesses and the opportunity they're getting through Intern Match to get, to actually have a almost direct connection with this community of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no secret there's a big skill shortage that's happening in Western markets. So, you can't necessarily get the people with the right skills anymore. AI is having another big impact on that. So we're getting huge demand for people with AI skills. And I've said for many, many years now, well, don't cut out the international student market when you're looking for employment. Don't don't put a condition on Seek or LinkedIn that you have to have residence in Australia in order to apply for a role. You're just cutting out a lot of the pool of talent. And the same for our talent that we have in Africa. You can look outside certain borders or certain geographies when you're looking for talent. So I think for people that are looking at their resourcing needs, it now really is a global marketplace, and COVID has accelerated that. And people's background, people's nationality, people's religion, where people necessarily located should not be a determining factor when you're looking for the skills and the talent you need for your businesses.
Yeah, yeah. Great. And I know we're coming to time, but in the spirit of Tech Diversity's theme this year, which is Frame DE&I Futures, what's next? What's next for Intern Match? Other than your big 1 million goal, what's next in the pipeline for you?
Yeah, I think it's just continuing on that journey and being really focused on it. So if we can positively influence lives every single month, every single year, and keep making that sort of bit by bit impact, it has a snowball effect. So, I'd love to be able to look back in 20 years and know that I've impacted, hundreds of thousands of people, whether it's directly or indirectly from the work that we're doing. So it's hard though, building a business is difficult, particularly when it's a social impact business. I think it's even more difficult. But we're doing it to support other people as well. And I think those stories is what probably drives us every single day. When you're having a bit of a crappy day and things aren't going well, and then a good news story comes through about someone who's maybe doing it amazing in the role that they've got, and you realize that the impact we've had in those lives. So yeah, being really focused on that now, I think I think the vision we've got is big enough, and hopefully over the next 10 years we can really see it continue.
Great. Well, thank you for your time, Gerard, and I'm sure Intern Match and Tech Diversity share in being part of each other's journeys. And if you do want to learn more around Intern Match, please visit their website, or I'm sure Gerard will take a direct LinkedIn message to help with growing the business and also with their purpose. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Yolanda.